Ladies and gentlemen, aviation geeks and frequent flyers, my name is David and welcome to this new episode of our review series, Brutally Honest. Today we are going to fly from Los Angeles, California, where I am right now, to Sydney, Australia on Delta Airlines Boeing 777 in economy class. And for those of you who haven't seen Brutally Honest before, basically here at Simply Aviation we believe that whether a flight is good or bad isn't determined by what an airline offers or what they don't, but regarding whether your expectations for the flight are met or whether they aren't. For example, when you're flying on Spirit Airlines, which is a low-cost airline, your expectations are going to be different than from when you're flying on a full-fare airline like United. And Delta Airlines is known as being the best airline in North America, so naturally our expectations for this flight are very high. As always, I've asked you on our YouTube channel, on the YouTube community page, to tell me what you would expect from this flight as well, so I can check your expectations too. Right here, these are the expectations that we have for today's flight in economy class. These are solely for the seat and the cabin. And Delta Airlines actually is one of those airlines which still operate Boeing 777s with 9 seats per row. Most airlines nowadays, including all other North American 777 operators, so Air Canada, United and American, operate their Boeing 777s with 10 seats per row in economy class. Delta Airlines, when they refurbished these planes, said that they want to keep the 333 layout, the 9 seat per row layout, in order to ensure comfort for their passengers, which I believe is a great thing, but this also means that it's just going to raise my expectations for the legroom, because if they keep 9 seats per row and then have tight legroom, that wouldn't make any sense. So my expectations are also that Delta Airlines is going to offer a pretty good legroom in economy class. Then you also have those standard features in economy class on long-haul routes nowadays, like a USB port, a universal power outlet. I do expect the plane to be equipped with Wi-Fi as well. And regarding the soft product, the meal and the additional services, Delta Airlines has also made some great improvements over last year. So my expectations here are also pretty high, including that Delta Airlines is going to offer some of those premium features that you find very rarely in economy class nowadays, like a hot towel to be offered before the meal service and a menu card so that you know exactly what you're gonna get. However, one thing that I do not expect is there to be a third meal or snack service on this plane. The flight today is scheduled at almost 15 hours, and a 15-hour flight would warrant 2 hot meals and then like a little snack in between. However, our flight is going to take off after 10 p.m. so my guess is that they will serve a hot meal right after takeoff, and then most people are going to sleep for 8, 9, 10, 11 hours, and then they're going to serve another meal before landing. And in between those meals, I do think that Delta Airlines will offer snacks in the galley or snacks to be brought to your seat if you request them, but I don't think that there will be a dedicated meal service in between. We still have a couple of hours until departure. I actually came here to LA to LAX to do some plane spotting, but it's a little bit cloudy, so that's not gonna happen. So I suggest that we just meet again in a couple of hours at the airport, and then we're going to fly to Australia on Delta Airlines and check some expectations.
Everybody's only allowed 2 carrying items, 1 water bag, and 1 personal item. Also, since it is an international inbound, just have your boarding pass and your passport out for us. And as you come forward, just let the camera.
Thank you.
Here, second on the right. Alright, you're gonna cross over and make a right.
Thank you. Alright, here we are on board Delta Airlines Boeing 777. The legroom is actually quite normal. I wouldn't say that this is over the top awesome, but it's definitely a good legroom. You've got your universal power outlet right there, another USB port right here, a tray table. But what surprises me is that there's no in-flight magazine, there's just the safety card. These seats have in-flight magazines. Currently, just my row doesn't. Thank you.
Be sure that all carry items are securely stowed in an overhead bin and place smaller items, including handbags, under the seat in front of you. If you lose your electronic device in your seat, please do not adjust your seat and ask the crew member for assistance. Now, please slip the elastic strap over your head and adjust the mask if necessary. Breathe normally and note that oxygen is flowing, so don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
I want to evacuate.
appreciated, and it included a vegetarian choice as well. And they served it on something like a tablecloth. It was a single-use thing. It's not like the same quality as in business class, but they did provide a tablecloth in economy class, which is something that I've never seen on any other airline in economy class before, and it really does elevate the whole experience a little bit. They did serve something that I personally did not expect. They did serve a mid-flight snack. They served like a little pizza wrap kind of mix with mushrooms and cheese, which was very delicious as well. And you can grab additional snacks, and they have a really good variety of snacks here as well in the galley throughout the flight. So far, the amenity kit is something that they provided as well. They did list a hot towel in the menu card, however, I did not see them provide one yet. So far, great experience, a very, very comfortable flight, and at this point, I would not hesitate to book a flight on Delta again, and there is no doubt in my mind that this is the best economy class experience that you will find on any North American airline. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We have made it to Sydney, Australia, and I am ready to go and explore Sydney because this really was a very, very enjoyable flight, and I feel a lot better right now than I was expecting to. I mean, a 15-hour overnight flight in economy class, you expect to arrive pretty devastated, but actually this flight was, to be honest, probably the best long-haul economy class flight I've had in the past 12 months. And I flew some amazing airlines within the past 12 months. I've flown on ANA, I've flown on Singapore Airlines, and I do have to admit that probably this Delta flight was the best economy class flight I've had. Delta Airlines provided almost all of these premium economy class features that only the very best airlines on the planet provide. Things like a hot towel before the meal is served, things like menu cards, things like a self-service snack bar in the back of the plane where you can get snacks throughout the flight. And it wasn't just a box full of leftover appetizers or desserts from the main meal. It was really a proper snack box where you had a variety of snacks to choose from crackers and cheese, Cheez-Its, Oreos, some other kind of cookies. It really was a very, very good product. And also the cabin was fantastic as well. The 9 seats per row were very wide, very comfortable. The leg room was okay. It wasn't the most impressive that I've ever experienced, but it certainly was sufficient for this flight. And the in-flight entertainment system was great as well. Delta Airlines always has had a pretty good in-flight entertainment system with an amazing variety of movies and TV shows. All in all, was it a perfect economy class flight? To be honest with you, no. There is almost always a way to make a flight even better. And it almost feels like I don't have a right to complain about this flight because it was actually that good. But if I would look for something to complain about, there are a couple of small things that I would recommend Delta to do differently. And they mostly concern the first meal service. Delta Airlines does now offer an elevated dining experience, as they call it, with the little tablecloth they offer, which, by the way, is an amazing feature that I can't believe no other airline has ever thought of, because this tablecloth probably costs Delta less than 10 cents to provide, and it really does make a big difference in how you perceive the meal on board the plane. But the meal itself, while very good, and the fact that they offered 3 choices, including a vegetarian choice as well, something I appreciate tremendously. However, I do believe that they could have brought an appetizer with the first main meal. This is something that I was missing, that I was kind of surprised by. Something like a little salad is not too difficult to provide, and I think something that Delta Airlines could look into for future flights. And one thing that I didn't enjoy at all was the bread roll that was served with the first meal. Even some mediocre airlines managed to put the bread rolls in the oven before they served them so that they arrive warm and crispy and fresh. And those bread rolls that Delta Airlines served on this flight came straight from the fridge. They were very chewy and dry and not really enjoyable at all. So it is a small thing, just buy a different kind of bread rolls that you put in the oven before you serve them to the passengers. I don't believe that this is a big investment for Delta to do. It is something very simple that I believe, at least for me, would have elevated the dining experience even further. Those really are the only things that I can find when it comes to this flight that I could possibly complain about. The seats were great, the IFE was great, the meal quality was great as well. They tasted really good. The amount of meals with the snack in the middle and the 2 main meals was sufficient for me as well. And even if it's not sufficient for you, you've got the snack bar in the back that you can go to at any time during the flight. So all in all, this flight was amazing, and I think most of you are going to agree with me on that. And I'm very curious to see whether my flight back to Los Angeles on Virgin Australia will be as good as this one as well, and what the differences are going to be between Delta and Virgin Australia, because they're both partner airlines, so you can book flights on both airlines on the same ticket. And I'm going to publish this video soon, so I highly recommend you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. I'll see you soon for a new video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.